Hi, in this tutorial I'm going to show you how to make this cute daisy flower scrubby using the Mary Maxim Scrub It 100% cotton with fringe for the center of the flower and white peaches and cream cotton yarn for the flower petals. If you'd like to learn how to make this scrubby today, please join me in this tutorial and I will show you how it's done. So to make the daisy flower scrubby, we are going to use the Mary Maxim Scrub It 100% cotton with fringe Scrub It yarn for the center of the daisy flower. And for the white petals, we are going to use peaches and cream 100% cotton. So they have a different texture, but they're both 100% cotton, so this will work out very nicely. The center will have the fringe for the scrubby, and the flower petals will be for the edging. So let's go ahead and begin. We're going to start off with the yellow scrubby yarn. So I want to go ahead and remove the label. We're going to go ahead and start off with a magic ring. I am using a size 8 or 8 5mm crochet hook. Okay. So we have our magic ring. Let's go ahead and chain one and do 6 single crochets into the center of the ring. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then we're going to close up the center circle just a little bit so that we can join with the slip stitch to that very first single crochet that we did when we began the round. Join with the slip stitch and then chain one, and we'll do a single crochet into that same stitch. Now let's go ahead and put a stitch marker in so we know where we began our round. Okay, so now we're going to do a second single crochet into that stitch because we want 2 single crochets in every stitch around. That's 2. Next one we'll have 2. 2 into the next one. 2 into the next stitch. So we're going to do 2 single crochets in every single stitch in this round. When we're done with this round, we will have 12 single crochets. So let me go ahead and stop here and count my stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Perfect, that's exactly what I want. Go ahead and take my stitch marker out. I'm going to join with a slip stitch to that first one. Okay, so now let's go ahead and begin round 3. So for round 3, chain 1. Do a single crochet into this first stitch, and then we will do 2 single crochets into the next one. So let's go ahead and put our stitch marker back into that first stitch that we did for this round 3. That way we don't lose track of where we started. Okay, so the next stitch we will do 1 single crochet. So we're alternating here. We're starting off at 1, then 2, then 1, then 2, and we will do that all the way around. And when we're done with this round, we will have 18 single crochets. Okay, so 2 into the next one, 2 single crochets, and oh, I'm sorry, that was 2 single crochets into this one. So now the next one will have 1 single crochet, 2 single crochets into the next stitch, then 1 single crochet, and then 2 into the next, and then 1 single crochet into the next stitch, then 2 into the next one, and then 1 single crochet, and then the next one will have 2. So when we're done with this round, we should have 18 single crochets. I'm going to go ahead and count my stitches to make sure that I do in fact have 18 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Perfect. So I'm going to take my stitch marker out. I'm going to join with a slip stitch to that very first single crochet when we began the round. Okay, so for round 4, go ahead and chain 1 and do a single crochet into this stitch. We'll go ahead and put our stitch marker back in. Okay, so that was one single crochet in this one. The next one will also have just one single crochet. In the next stitch, we will do 2 single crochets, and then 1 single crochet into the next 2 stitches. It's 1, 1, and then 2 single crochets into the next stitch. And then the next 2 stitches will have 1 single crochet, and then 2 single crochets into the next stitch. Okay, and the next 2 stitches we will have 1 single crochet in each. 1 and 1. 2 single crochets into the next stitch, and then we're going to do 1 single crochet in the next 2 stitches. So in the next one we're going to do 2 single crochets. Let me get some more working yarn here. Okay, so we're doing 2 single crochets into the next stitch. And then we'll do 1 single crochet into the next 2 stitches. So that's 1 single crochet, and then 2 single crochets into the next stitch. Okay, and we should have 24 stitches when we're done with round 4. So let me go ahead and count my stitches to make sure I do in fact have 24 before we begin the next round. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Perfect. So now let me go ahead and take my stitch marker out. And then we will join with a slip stitch to that very first single crochet when we begin round 4. Okay, so that is 4 rounds so far. So we'll be doing another round of single crochet for round 5. So chain 1 and do a single crochet into the stitch here. And then let's go ahead and put our stitch marker in. Okay, the next 2 stitches will have 1 single crochet in each. That's 1 single crochet. Next stitch will have 2 single crochets. And then the next 3 stitches you will do 1 single crochet in each stitch. Okay, next stitch will have 2 single crochets, and then 1 single crochet in the next 3. That's 1 single crochet, and 1 single crochet. In the next stitch we will do 2 single crochets. Next stitch, the next 3 stitches will have just 1 single crochet in each. That's 1 single crochet. Okay, so the next stitch we're going to do 2 single crochets. Getting some more working yarn here. Okay, so let's do 2 single crochets into this stitch. Okay, and then we're going to do 1 single crochet in the next 3 stitches. That's 1 single crochet, and 1 single crochet. So in this stitch we will do 2 single crochets, and then we're going to do 1 single crochet in the next 3. So 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so that is round 5. I'm going to go ahead and stop here and count my stitches. We should have 30 single crochets when we're done with this round. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Perfect. So now what we want to do is join with a slip stitch to that first single crochet when we began the round. Okay, so we can see that it fills the palm of our hand, so we're going to do one more round and then we will do our flower petals. So because we want it to be a little bit bigger to overlap our hand before we begin the petals. So we need to do one more round, so this will be round 6. With the yellow, and then we'll begin with the petals. Okay, so chain 1, do a single crochet into that same stitch, and then we're going to go ahead and insert our stitch marker into that first stitch there. Don't want to lose track of where we began this round. So now that we have our stitch marker in, we're going to do 1 single crochet into the next 3 stitches. That's 1 single crochet, Okay, so the first 4 stitches of this one had 1 single crochet, and then 2 single crochets into the next stitch, and then 1 single crochet into the next 4. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 stitches. That was 1 single crochet into those 4 stitches there, and then 2 single crochets into the next stitch, and then we're going to do 1 single crochet into the next 4. So that's 1, 3, 4. Okay, so then we want to do 2 single crochets into the next one, and then we're going to do 1 single crochet into the next 4. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. There was 1 single crochet in each of those 4 stitches, and then we're going to do 2 single crochets into the next stitch. Okay, and then 1 single crochet into the next 4. So that's 1 single crochet, 1, and then 2 single crochets into the next stitch, and then we'll have the next 4 stitches will have 1. So that's 1 single crochet, 1, and 1. All right, so we should have 36 single crochets when we're done with this round. So let me go ahead and count, make sure. 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 32, 33, 35, 36. Perfect. That's what we want. Okay. So now I'm going to go ahead and take my stitch marker out, and we're going to join with a slip stitch to that first single crochet of this round. Okay, so that completes round 6 of single crochets. That is the center of our scrubby. So you can see that it fits the palm of our hand here. So we are ready to begin the petals of our scrubby now. So to do that, we're going to use the white peaches and cream cotton yarn. Okay, so we're going to switch over to white now. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut a tail here. Okay, and then I'm just going to insert my hook into the next stitch, yarn over, pull that through, and then pull it through the loop to fasten off. Okay, and then we're ready to begin with the white cotton for the petals of our daisy flower. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and make a slip knot, insert my hook. I'm going to use the same size hook for the petals of the flower for scrubby. Okay, and just go ahead and insert your hook there into the stitch here, right there. And then yarn over, pull that through, and pull it through the loop with the slip stitch to begin. Okay, chain 2, and then do a double crochet into the same stitch, and then a treble crochet, and then we'll do a double crochet, and then a slip stitch into the next 2 stitches, and then chain 2, and we'll do a double crochet, and then a treble crochet into the same stitch, and then a double crochet into that same stitch, and a slip stitch into the next 2 stitches. Okay, and then chain 2, 1, 2, do a double crochet into that same stitch, and then we're going to do a treble crochet into the same stitch, and then double crochet into the same one, and then do a slip stitch into the next 2 stitches. Okay, and then chain 2, and then do a double crochet and a treble, so wrapping twice for the treble crochet, and then a double crochet, that same stitch, and then you're going to do a slip stitch into the next 2 stitches. And we're going to do that all the way around for each petal. Chain 2, do a double crochet into that stitch, and a treble crochet, sorry. That's wrapping twice for the treble crochet. And then a double crochet into the same stitch, and then slip stitch into the next 2 stitches. And then you're going to do chain 2, and then a double crochet, and then a treble crochet, and then you work a double crochet into the same stitch, and then you're going to do a slip stitch into the next 2 stitches. Let me do that one again. Here we go. Slip stitch into the next 2 stitches, then chain 2, and then you're going to do a double crochet, and then a treble crochet into the same stitch, and then a double crochet, and then we're going to do a slip stitch into the next 2 stitches. Okay, and then you're going to do a chain 2, and then we're going to do a double crochet into that same stitch, and then a treble crochet, the same one, and then a double crochet into that same stitch, and then a slip stitch into the next 2 stitches. Okay, and then we want to chain 2, do a double crochet, and then a treble crochet into the same stitch, and then we're going to do a double crochet again, and then a slip stitch into the next 2 stitches. Okay, chain 2, and then do a double crochet, and then a treble crochet into the same stitch, and then we're going to do a double crochet into that same stitch. So we're doing the petals the same way all the way around, and then do a slip stitch into the next 2 stitches. And go ahead and chain 2, and then double crochet into that stitch, and then treble crochet, and then a double crochet, same stitch, and then you're going to slip stitch into the next 2 stitches. Okay, and that's what our flower looks like so far. It's really, really cute. Okay, let's keep going. Chain 2, do a double crochet into that same stitch, and then a treble crochet, then a double, and then into the next 2 stitches we're going to do a slip stitch. So a slip stitch into the next 2 stitches. Okay, and then chain 2. Then we're going to do a double crochet into the same stitch, and then a treble crochet, and then a double crochet into the same stitch, and then slip stitch into the next 2 stitches. So we're just doing the same thing for each petal, working all the way around. Okay, so chain 2, and we'll do a double crochet into that stitch, and then a treble crochet, and then a double crochet. And then we're going to do a slip stitch into the next 2 stitches. And then you want to chain 2, and then do a double crochet, and then a treble crochet into the same stitch, and then a double crochet into that same stitch, and then a slip stitch into the next 2 stitches. Okay, so we're almost done. So we're working each petal the same for each petal. It's for each petal we start with a chain 2, then a double crochet, and then 1 treble crochet, and then 1 double crochet into the same stitch. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. Chain 2, and then 1 double crochet, same stitch, and then a treble crochet, that same stitch, and then we're going to do a double crochet into the same stitch. Let me do that one again. There we go. Double crochet. Oops, it wants to, the yarn keeps splitting right there. Let me try that again. and then a double crochet into the same stitch. There we go. And then slip stitch into the next 2. Okay, and then we're going to do chain 2, double crochet into the same stitch, and then a treble crochet into the same stitch. That's wrapping it twice for the treble. And then we'll do a double crochet into the same one, and then slip stitch to the next one here. Okay. And then we'll do a slip stitch right in that next one right here, right underneath that petal. Put that in there. Okay, actually, sorry. That little tail from the previous row was getting in the way, so let me do that again. Okay, so that is one more stitch right there. We actually want to slip stitch right into that. Okay, do a slip stitch. Move that tail out of the way. Alright, there we go. Now I got it. Okay, so now we want to go ahead and cut the tail here so we can fasten off. Okay, and then yarn over and pull that through that loop. Give it a tug to fasten off. And now we want to weave in all our loose tails. So let me go ahead and get my little crochet needle. We're going to weave in our tails. Okay, so that was that center magic ring, so I'm going to just pull that tight, close up that center, and then weave that in. Okay, and then I'm going to cut that tail right there. Weave in the next one. Is the other yellow one. Okay, so now I can cut that tail there. Okay, and then now weave in those little tails here, the white ones, for the petals. Okay, so this one here, there's a little bit of a space, so I'm just going to kind of bring them together a little bit when I weave it in. There we go. Okay, so then we can cut that tail when we have that woven in. Oh, that little tail needs to be trimmed just a little more. Okay, so now I'm going to weave this one in. Okay, so now I'm going to cut that too. Okay, and then we have our adorable little daisy flower dish scrubby. Just go ahead and stretch the petals. How cute is that? I hope that you enjoyed making the daisy flower scrubby today. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. I hope that you will subscribe, and I want to thank you for watching. Have a great day.